The Galactic Council had declared the case closed 3 cycles ago. The dragon hatchlings of Vera, last of the Drakari matriarchs, were presumed dead, casualties of the great asteroid storm that had ravaged the breeding grounds of Kelthera Prime. The Council offered condolences, erected a memorial, and moved on. After all, they had searched for 2 full cycles. What more could be done? Lena Ward, however, had never been good at accepting impossible. She stood now at the edge of the shattered veil, a region of space so treacherous that most navigational systems refused to calculate routes through it. Debris fields stretched for light years, remnants of ancient battles and cosmic collisions creating a maze of death. Her ship, the Resolute, hummed quietly as she studied the holographic display before her. "You're insane," her AI companion Iris stated flatly. "The probability of survival in there is 0.03%. "So you're saying there's a chance," Lena replied, checking her pressure suit seals. "That's not what statistics mean, Captain." Lena smiled grimly. She'd heard the whispers in the station cantinas, the drunk navigator who swore he'd detected bio-readings deeper in the veil than anyone had dared to venture. The other species had dismissed him. Humans had a reputation for chasing whispers into the dark. The Resolute entered the veil. For 6 hours, Lena piloted through the chaos, her reflexes pushed to their limit. Twice collision alarms shrieked. 3 times she had to manually override Iris's attempts to abort. But then, deep in the heart of the veil where sensors barely functioned, she found it. A massive cavern carved into an asteroid the size of a moon, and within it a heat signature that made her breath catch. "Iris, tell me I'm reading that right." "Confirmed. Drakari life sign. Adult class. But Captain, the readings are wrong. Weakened, possibly dying." Lena didn't hesitate. She docked the Resolute and entered the cavern alone. The interior was a cathedral of stone and shadow. Crystals embedded in the walls cast a faint blue glow, just enough to see by. And there, coiled in the center of the vast chamber, was Vera. The dragon was magnificent even in her diminished state. Scales that once shimmered like molten silver were now dulled, and her great wings lay folded against her sides, trembling with exhaustion. But her eyes, those ancient, intelligent eyes, fixed on Lena with an intensity that would have made most species flee. "You are human," Vera's voice echoed, not through sound but directly into Lena's mind. The telepathic link was weak, fractured. "Why have you come to witness my death?" "I didn't come here for that," Lena said, stepping closer despite every instinct screaming at her to maintain distance. "I came because I heard you might still be alive. And if you're alive, maybe your hatchlings are too." Something shifted in Vera's eyes. Pain, hope, despair. "My children are lost," the dragon whispered. "Taken by the storm, scattered across the void. I have searched for so long, but I am failing. Soon I will join them in death." Lena looked at the great creature and saw what the others had missed. Vera wasn't dying of wounds or age. She was dying of starvation and exhaustion because she'd never stopped searching. "When did you last feed?" Lena asked. "Cycles. Many cycles. I cannot leave this region. They are here. I know they are here. I can feel them, faint echoes in the distance, but I cannot reach them." Lena's mind raced. She pulled up her ship's star charts, overlaying them with the Veil's chaotic geography. "Iris, if the hatchlings were caught in the storm at the breeding grounds, where would the debris fields have carried them?" "Captain, the variables are—" "Best guess, now." A pause. Then a series of coordinates appeared on her heads-up display, scattered throughout the veil like breadcrumbs. "You can't reach them because you're too big to navigate the debris fields safely," Lena said, understanding dawning. "But I can." Vera lifted her massive head, hope flickering like a dying star. "You would do this? For my children? For me? We are nothing to your kind." Lena met those ancient eyes. "You're wrong. You're a mother searching for her kids. That's everything to my kind." What followed was the most dangerous week of Lena Ward's life. She piloted the Resolute through passageways that scraped her hull, into voids where gravity twisted unpredictably, following Iris's projections and Vera's faint telepathic sense of her offspring. The first hatchling she found was unconscious, trapped in a pocket of an old derelict ship, its tiny body barely warm. The second had wedged itself into a crystal formation, scared and starving but alive. The third, fourth, and fifth were together, huddled in a cave much like their mothers, surviving on moss and stubborn will. Each time Lena brought them back to Vera. Each time the great dragon wept tears of liquid light. By the time Lena found the sixth and final hatchling, word had spread. Her communications with Iris had been monitored, and now ships from a dozen species were gathering at the Vale's edge. When Lena emerged with the last hatchling, a feisty little creature that kept trying to breathe fire at her controls, she found herself surrounded. Not by hostility, but by awe. The Galactic Council representatives were there. They watched as Lena delivered the final child to Vera, watched as the great dragon curled around her reunited brood, her scales already beginning to regain their luster now that hope had returned. "Impossible," the Zentari counselor whispered. "We searched. We found nothing." "You searched with logic and probabilities," Lena replied, exhausted but smiling. "I searched with stubbornness and spite. Humans are good at that." Vera's voice touched all their minds, strong now, resonant. "The human speaks truth. You gave me up as lost. You declared my children dead. But this human, this impossible, stubborn, beautiful human, she refused to let the universe have the final word." The dragon fixed her gaze on Lena. "The Drakari do not forget debts. From this day forward, Lena Ward, you are kin mother to my line. And humanity. Humanity has earned our eternal friendship." As Lena watched Vera and her hatchlings take flight together for the first time in cycles, Iris spoke quietly in her ear. "Captain, what you did defied all reasonable odds." Lena grinned. "Iris, haven't you learned yet? Humans don't care about the odds. We care about what's right." And in that moment, as word spread through the galaxy of the human who had done the impossible, the legend of humanity grew a little brighter, because sometimes the universe needs someone too stubborn to accept forever lost. Sometimes it needs a human